What up, everybody? Welcome back to Breaking Night with BL. I'll give you a guess who I am. Bingo. Shout out to everybody tuning in. I'm having a grand old time over here teaching New York history. Rocking my VE shirt. I bought a couple of these from Den when he printed them. Still lives on the back. And yes, VE still lives. Got a lot of people that love VE that are still putting them up like crazy. You got Slash putting them up, Germs putting them up, JA throws them up all the time. This is what I'm talking about, man. When people pass on, you got to keep the memory alive, man. If we don't, who's going to do it? I don't know. But I didn't just get one shirt. I have another shirt that I usually rock. I got the yellow one and everything. But I got a couple of others that I got. I was lucky to score 5 of these. Got this other one. Look at this color. That's a treat. Right on the back. Gotta love that. And then yeah, I got a nice clean one. And now I'm just gonna keep these in my collection. These are not for sale. Personal collection. Look at this. That's what I'm talking about. Keeping names alive. If you don't do it, who's gonna do it? This is a true story. But I'll tell you one thing. I was in the store the other day, walking around, shopping, minding my business, and like 3 lanes over, I hear a full-blown conversation. Somebody's on their phone, yip yap, and blah, 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 blah. The whole store can hear you. And on top of that, the person's on speakerphone. There's nothing more I can't stand than somebody who's on their phone. It's bad enough I have to hear your shit, but I have to hear the person on the other side. I gotta hear a full-blown conversation of 2 retards talking it out. And lo and behold, I'm walking through the aisles, and I get around, and it's a fucking hood rat. It's usually a hood rat. Normal people don't act like that in public. Nobody is gonna have a full conversation about their life or their man, their girl's man, and or who's cheating or what this bitch on the block is doing, and it's like it fits the attitude. And I'm far from racist. I love everybody. I don't care what color you are. But there's etiquette. Don't be out here yelling and screaming about fuck that bitch on the block. She blah blah blah, she slept with my man, blah blah blah, and then you get the other asshole. Blah 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 blah. Come on. Do I really gotta listen to that shit? Does anybody wanna listen to that stuff? I know I don't. And people should learn how to act, because that is just pathetic. But speaking of phones, you know, being a writer and being around certain people and doing certain things, there's a lot of times I'm out with my girl or I'm out with friends, whatever, and I pick up my phone and I gotta put a code in my phone. My phone has a code in it. You just can't get in there. So one day I'm at the dinner, I'm getting in my phone, and my girlfriend says to me, "Why do you have a code in your phone? Like, what are you hiding?" I says, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. First of all, I'm not hiding anything. Here's my code. Anytime you want to get in my phone, feel free to look at whatever you want." I said, "But I will do you the justice of telling you why I have a code on my phone." She knows I go out painting. She knows I'm around certain people. And sometimes, you know, if you're doing something, let's say I'm out writing and I get chased and I get caught, which, thank goodness, has never happened. What do you think? I want the cops getting my phone and just opening it and just seeing my whole life? Oh, look at all the pictures he took. Oh, look at who he's talking to. He's snitching himself out. You're basically giving yourself up. You don't want to do that. I suggest you put a code in there. Not even your fingerprint. Because if you put your fingerprint, trust me, cops are not dumb. If they think that you're doing something and there may be some evidence on your phone, when you're in cuffs, they're going to take your phone and they're going to take your finger and they're going to put it on there and they're going to open your phone and they're going to get your business. If you got a code in there, you don't have to tell them shit. Never rat on your friends and always keep your mouth shut. That's my motto. So do yourself a favor, please. If you're out there bombing, you're doing something, put a fucking lock on your phone. I can't stand when I'm around people and their phone is just swiped open and I'm like, man, you're gonna go to jail. Because you're stupid. You gotta be prepared for everything. And I'll tell you a funny story. By far, one of the sickest bombers I ever painted with was J.A. Hats off to J.A. A true graffiti animal. By far, one of the most prolific New York writers. I know there's a lot of other people that have killed shit, but nobody's living a lifestyle like J.A. The guy's out racking, the guy's out bombing, he's traveling, he's doing all these crazy spots, and you gotta give the guy props. I had nothing but a good time painting with J.A., and I've painted with a lot of people. I would say close to second is Deck Vic Crew. But this one time, we were doing highways, we were doing the Grand Central, we were doing the LIE, and I hit this spot in the Grand Central, right by the LIE. They got the big wall over there, and we killed this thing. I'm not telling you how we got in there, and I'm not telling you how we left, but right over there, we got on, went around through the park, jumped in there, did our thing. Next day, I just happened to be in the neighborhood, and I'm like, you know what? Let me go over there and get some flicks. Who doesn't like flicks of their stuff? So here I am. I'm walking by Left Rock City, on Horace Harding, on the Long Island side road, just trooping along, got my headphones on, listening to music, bum 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 bum, trooping. I turn the corner and I get over there and I look and I see that there's two trucks and they're painting the wall. And I literally threw off my headphones, dropped my shit, and started running to get some flicks. I ran over to where the fence was, because you got to go over the overpass to get from the street side over into Flushing Meadow Park. So here I am, I go running, and I climbed up the fence, and I'm standing on the handrail. You know how you hold the handrail, and I'm literally over the fence like this. Taking flicks. I see one of the guys in the truck is just looking across the highway at me like, what the fuck is this maniac doing? And here I am thinking, hey, they may come after me and try and grab me, thinking, is that me that was painting on the highway? Or am I just a photographer taking pictures? But I got some treat shots. And nothing's better than catching people buffing your stuff. And here I am just clicking away. Look at some of these pictures. Right from when they were in the middle of it, all the way until they started to get past the truck, and then they were going after the tags at the very end. And I laughed, and I was just like, this is priceless. If I would have been 5 minutes later, I wouldn't have got one picture. You know how pissed off I would have been? Going all the way up there, parking the car, walking all the way over, and I didn't get one flick. The wall would have been completely red. I would have been pissed off. Fuming red. But I got you. And another time, actually, that's not the first time I caught somebody buffing stuff that we did. One time we hit the Cross Island. It was me, J.A., and Left. Shout out to Left. So three of us, we go to the Cross Island, we go into this little spot right off Jericho Turnpike, and like anything, you gotta have a good plan. You gotta prepare yourself. So in the car, we all said to each other, if we get chased, either make it back to the car or don't. There's no waiting for nobody. There's no going to the car and sitting around waiting to see if this guy got caught or if this guy's hiding and he's to make it back. You don't do that. You got to have a plan every single time you do something. A plan to get away and a plan to escape. So here we are, the three of us, we're on the highway, we're killing it. I crossed over, I hit a couple spots on the lower part. Of course, J.A., he climbs over the overpass and he climbs down and he's rocking the whole thing across the end. And as I get up, I turn around, I see a Long Island Railroad train is coming. And I'm like, yo, train's coming. He's finishing his thing, and I'm like, yo, come on, train's coming. All of a sudden, he climbs back up, and he just lays on the top of the thing like nobody can see him. I'm like, are you kidding me, man? So I'm just standing there, I'm on the side, I'm off the tracks, ready to run down the hill and get back to the car. And here it is, the train pulls up, stops right where he's laying. The conductor's right above him. Here's the conductor, and here he is laying. Smart guy gets up and starts running. We hung jump off the thing because we don't know if people are coming. So we run down the thing and we're going, and all of a sudden we all split up. He went one way, left went another way, and I went this way. Me, I'm familiar with this stuff and I knew where I was. I'm familiar with the neighborhood. So I ran across the highway, up the grass, and into the streets. And mind you, if you know the area over there, by New Hyde Park, Jericho Turnpike, it's all nice houses, it's all nice and quiet. It's 2 in the morning. So here I am, I go running, and I just scoop down by a car. And all you hear is from around the blocks, cars racing around. So me, I dip into the dark, and I'm sitting like in somebody's planter, just hiding. And all of a sudden, car goes slow, looking. They pull up right by the overpass where we were. And I literally was like, how the fuck did these 3 or 4 cars get here so fast? And mind you, they weren't police cars. They were either detective cars or MTA police. I have no idea. But all I know is I've heard cars gunning it in every direction. And I literally stayed there and hid for like a half an hour. Once I didn't hear any cars anymore, I just crept out and I started walking. I went out all the way to Hillside Avenue and I walked all the way back toward Jamaica. Finally, I get out of the neighborhood. I get away from, the danger zone, and I see a payphone. I picked up the phone and I called J.A. He's like, where are you? I was like, are you guys okay? He's like, yeah, we're in the car. He goes, we left, man. He goes, we weren't sure. I says, dude, we stuck to the plan, man. Get the fuck out of there. Don't be waiting for nobody, because that's how they get you. He says, where are you? I said, I'm on Hillside Avenue and like 100 and something street. I says, way far away from where we were. Easily 2-3 miles away. Stay right there. We're going to come get you. I'm just chilling out in the store, hanging out, having a beer, chilling. They come and get me. We go back to his house and we're just hanging out, chilling, trading stories of what happened. Thank God everybody was safe. Got to be on your P's and Q's all the time and have a plan. So the next day, I get in the car with my boy and I'm just like, yo, can you take me by the Grand Central then? I want to go take pictures. I mean, the Cross Island. Take me to the Cross Island. I want to get some photos. So we're driving, and we're coming around the corner, and all of a sudden there's just bumper to bumper traffic in the middle of the day. I was like, that got to be an accident or something. So all of a sudden, as we're pulling up, and we're creeping, there's a road crew with a truck blocking the whole lane, cleaning our stuff. And here I am, flicking away. Got to get them flicks, man. What's the sense of doing it if you can't get the flicks? You see, the rule was, when I was a kid, going to the yard and going to do anything, never have a camera on you. Never. Because what are you going to do when you get caught? The cops grab your camera and they develop the pictures. You got pictures of your boy painting, you got his face, you got all the shit you were doing. You're going to jail, stupid. This is why you got to be smart. But I would always go back the next day and get flicks, or at night, because I got the pictures to prove it. But this is one of the biggest reasons why I say, have a code on your phone. Because nowadays you got your cell phone in your pocket, and if you do get bagged, they're going to go through your shit and you're going to be sorry. Because they're going to plug it into the computer and they're going to take your contacts, they're going to take everything. And here's another tip. Do not save your friends' phones or writers by their tag names. You're a fucking moron. I don't have any of my friends that write by their tag name. I have a code name. I make up a name like Vanilla or Suede Shoes or, Rhinoceros. You always got to have a code for somebody's name, because you're going to look pretty fucking dumb if you get caught and the cops get that information and they're calling people like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, we just caught your boy BL. We got all your contacts. Do you want to be that guy? I sure as hell don't want to be that guy. So please, do me a favor. Use your head, be smart. Get a fucking OSHA card. Learn the drills. think before you do something. When I was a carpenter, I learned some of the biggest lessons in my life. Think twice, act once. Where we were in the carpenter, the saying was, measure twice and cut once, which means you don't want to make a mistake. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm making sure I double check everything I'm doing. I make sure my phone is locked. I make sure I have a plan. And I, more than importantly, make sure I know where the fuck I am and how to get out of here. I've never painted in a place where I don't know how to get away from. If somebody takes me to a spot to scope it out, I'm definitely like, wait a minute. Let's drive around these blocks. Let me see, where does this block lead? Where does this block go? Is there a precinct on the next block? Am I gonna run down this way and I'm gonna run by 20 cops like with a bag of paint jiggling? You're just a moron and you deserve to get caught. So please, pay attention. It's very important. But talking about bombing, maybe some people know this and a lot of people don't. Has anybody ever heard of bombing in the rain? I know it sounds pretty stupid. Somebody says to themselves, how the hell are you gonna bomb in the rain? It's raining. Well, let me give you a tip. If you didn't know, when you're in the boroughs and you're walking down these avenues and streets and all the boulevards, all these stores with the gates, they have awnings. They have awnings that come out like 5 feet and they have roll down gates. When it's raining, those gates are bone dry. Bone dry. Which means you can ride on them all you want. But the best thing to do is you get yourself a big dookie umbrella. The big ones, not the little ones. You get the big one with the long arm and it covers out the whole thing, and you walk around and you just pick a gate and you use the umbrella as a shield so no one can see what you're doing. But secondary, when it's raining out and it's pouring, no one's really out, number one. And number two, if a cop car is 2 blocks away or a block away, they cannot see you because their windshield wipers are going. If you're jingling the can, they can't hear you. If you're over there they can't hear it. It's raining. The car is teeming with water coming on it. They're not gonna hear that. So what you do is you take your can, you use your umbrella, and you just block. If a car is oncoming, you just use it to block. They can't see what you're doing. You catch your little tag, you do your throw up, you fill in whatever you're doing, and you keep it moving. That's just a free tip. You can thank me later. Because I know some people know about that and some people don't. And another treat is giving away gems. Shout out to my boy MX. My boy tells me one day, he's like, yo, did you know that if you have a big black construction bag, like a big black construction bag that you throw debris in, I'm talking about it's as big as you. You take one of those up and you fold it and you keep it in your back pocket. And God forbid you're somewhere and you get chased, you get a run going. If you get to jump on police or jump on anybody, you cut around the corner. As you're running, you open up that bag, you get in the bag, and you get yourself right next to a garbage pail or near a dumpster or by somebody's fence. And you're playing it off like you're a garbage bag. 95% of the cops are gonna run right by you because they're not hip to that shit. You may get one smart one who maybe saw you or may have an idea, like, what is this bag doing here? Get in the fucking bag, cover yourself, and shut the fuck up. And be prepared to stay there for a little while. Use your ears. This is why you have all these senses. Your eyes, your ears are very valuable. Especially when you're hiding somewhere and your eyes are closed, your other senses heighten. And if you really close your eyes and you listen, you can hear footsteps, you can hear cars going, you hear brakes, you hear the engines, you can hear everything. Especially in the city, there's a lot going on. But those are just a couple of free tips. I never had to use the bag trick. But there were times I was out on a rainy night, like, look at this, walking down Queens Boulevard, it's pouring out, no one's out. There you are with your umbrella. Do, 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 do. Free gems, man. Thank me later. But for those that know me, know I had Treat Street and I had everybody coming to my house and doing things and working on sick treats. And I made a lot of sick treats myself. Like I got here's a personal treat. It's a personal gem. I made this canvas. One of the most sickest gangsters of our time, John Gotti. I love John Gotti. Ballsy fucking prick. Balls of steel. And he was a sick boss. And you gotta love that. I made shit like that personally. But what I started doing, because I was a doorman in the city, and I was in the Soho area, and I would see, you know, you got course, there's wheat pasting everywhere, and you got all these street artists doing all these things. They're doing, you know, things on the floor and all this other stuff. So I decided to make a bunch of street canvases for street promotion. And basically I made a bunch of small ones for a campaign to do positive messages. You know, some I had work hard today, and shows, you know, two basketball players, you know, going at it. Other ones I just wrote, enjoy your day. But I literally made like 20, 30 of these things, and I picked certain blocks in Soho where I was putting them up. I put one down by Canal Street, across street from Pearl Paint. I had one on East Houston. I had put one in front of Kanye's house. I found a picture in the paper of Kanye and Kim, and Germs did a Kimye piece on it, and I hung that shit right in front of Kanye's house. I guarantee you the doorman or the maintenance people took it down. So here's some pictures and video of me going out and documenting all of this stuff. Pretty sick. I mean, I definitely did a lot of damage putting a lot of stuff up, and I know a lot of people saw it. But there's a few of them that I put up, and like I said, I worked in the neighborhood. I come the next day, I'm walking down these blocks looking for the stuff to take pictures, because I already got video when I put it up. And I noticed that a lot of them are gone. And I'm like, what the fuck? Did the city take these down? Did somebody just rip them down and throw them in the garbage? I mean, I put them there obviously for people to take them, for people to enjoy. And I learned that when you're putting stuff on the poles, you can't put it the way the traffic is going. You can put it on the back of the pole. So in other words, if traffic's going this way, you can't put it on the front, because that's illegal and they'll rip it down. Because a car driving by will see the sign and think it's a law, a rule, or a parking sign, and they may crash. We don't want that to happen. So I put it on the back, so you can only see it if you're walking this way. So I had a whole bunch of these up, and I noticed that there was a bunch of them missing. I'm like, what the fuck happened to these? So I started doing searches. I was like, everything was tagged Treat Street. I wrote Treat Street Graffiti on some, Treat Street New York. I was tagging them in different things, so this way people would know how to find them. And lo and behold, I find this page, and this guy, I found out he works at Laura Fish Bar on Mercer Avenue. He must have been the manager. But he literally got 9 of my canvases, and he put them all down, and he took a nice picture of it, and in the caption he wrote, "I'm a big fan of Treat Street. Soho is my home, and I know it very well. I enjoy the treats, thank you." I was a little pissed off, but I was also happy that they found a good home. And I was honored that this guy went out of his way walking up and down all these blocks to find my pieces. Because obviously he sees 1, he sees 2, he goes 2 blocks over, there's 3, there's 4. So this guy must have went out of his way, literally walking up and down the block trying to find them. And I applaud that guy, because that's why I put him there. So what I did was, I saw his page that he was at Laura Fish Bar, and I got his name. And I actually knew one of the doormen that worked in the Mercer Hotel. Shout out to Sammy. I went to Sammy and I was like, "Yo, do you know who this guy is across the street?" I said his name. He's like, "Oh yeah, he works there. He's a good guy." I said, "Yeah, he's the guy that took all my canvases." So I reached out to the guy. I sent him a message. I was like, "Yo, man, I'm glad they found a good home, but those were me. I made them." And he wrote back, "Yo, man, thank you, man. I love these pieces, and I'm going to cherish them." And to me, that was huge. I was very thankful that somebody appreciated what I did. And even when I was working and I was walking around going to lunch and coffee, I've caught a couple people actually taking pictures of them. You know, taking a picture. Maybe they're reposting it or whatever. I found this woman who took a picture of it right on my block. I came walking around the corner with my lunch. I turned the corner, and there's this woman. I made another one that was on my block, so I can kind of keep an eye on it. I put it a couple of buildings down from where I was working, just because I wanted to see, are people paying attention to this? Are they looking at it? Are they going to rip it down, throw it in the garbage? And I caught a couple of people taking pictures. And it makes you feel good. It makes you feel that people appreciate it. A lot of them I wrote positive messages on. Like one, I had a picture of who the hell was it? It was one of a woman. She had a thumb out like this, and I wrote "taxi" along the top. So I was just trying to make people feel good. But it made me feel good making them and putting them up. And that's what was important to me. So trust me, you never know when you're gonna see a Treat Street canvas up somewhere, because I still do have a couple of them, and I purposely have them to put up in those kind of areas. Speaking of treats, before I go, I want to show you a real gem. This is something that I had to box up and keep it safe, because this is a personal treat that was made for me by a sick legend, and this is personal. When I get my man cave and I'm all set up, this is going to be something that I'm going to put up, and it means a great deal to me. And I know I talk about the guy a lot because he's a legend. But here we go. When me and Pace were starting this company we were doing, taking pictures of picture canvases of trains, of walls, of trucks, of just New York City places that people like, I went to Vinny 3YB and I was like, "Vinny, I know you love Grant layup. I know you hit Grant a lot. I got this personal picture that I want you to do something for me. And here you go. Vinny 3YB. Put up is, a lot of people don't know, FI2. Vinny's alias was FI2. You know what FI2 is? Anybody know? Of course, look. Vinny did a nice RB on there. Shout out my boy Bobby. What a tight-knit family. But for those that don't know, FI2 is Vinny, because when Vinny was killing trains in the 60s and early 70s, probably one of the only people who was hitting trains as much as he was IN. And Vinny, being the ballsy guy that he is and the competitor, he started doing FI2 for fuck in twice. And when I heard that, I was like, this guy's a maniac. I love it. Fucking love it, man. That's graffiti competition. When you literally make up a tag, FI2, saying fuck this guy twice, hysterical. So when y'all see old pictures, you don't see a Vinny, but you see an FI2, that's Vinny. And to me, Vinny is one of those legendary guys who's still around and he's still out smashing it. I said it in episode 17, and I'm gonna say it again. Get something from this guy, because he's pure history. He's still out there killing it, making canvases. I have a bunch of pieces from Vinny, and I'm completely honored to know this man and to listen to his stories and just hang out with him and paint freights. And I just sit there and I watch, man. I learn. I've documented a lot of stuff on Vinny. I actually sat Vinny down and got a whole interview with him, sitting down for an hour asking him questions about his life and everything. And I got that put away, and when I get some time, I'm gonna work on a great documentary on Vinny, because it's needed. This is the relationships that people have with people. I know people collect stuff, I know people think they know people. But if you know somebody personally, it's another story. If a stranger walks up to Vinny and tries to ask him questions, he's not gonna answer your questions. But me being his friend, if I'm like, yo, just by the way, I'm curious, how'd you do this? Or when'd you do this? He tells me, and I keep it here, you know? There's certain things people tell me, I keep to myself. I don't tell the world. The world doesn't need to know. It's not for everybody to know. For me, it's a super treat to know these things, and I keep it in the vault. I lock it up. You should lock it up too. But I wanted to just jump on here, show a couple of treats. Episode number 19. I know last episode I showed you guys the sick Amuse canvas, but I think I finally figured out what I could do with this thing. I'm gonna make me a nameplate. I'm gonna get a nice chain. I'm gonna put this as a nameplate. Remember the nameplates back in the day in New York? People used to have silver or gold, you know, their name with the city in the background or something. Nameplates. People don't know about that no more. And look, it matches my shirt. Amuse is somebody who's always putting up VE. God bless this guy. That's real graffiti. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. I always love seeing and teaching and showing things in my collection, because I have a lot, and there's a lot more to come. I still got this bag I'm gonna go through. Next week, I'm gonna get Coop on the phone, and I'm gonna go through this bag of gems. Thanks for tuning in. You all enjoy yourself. Stay hydrated. Keep a lock on your fucking phones. Peace, everybody.